Race 1 at Rosehill on Saturday. It's the Tab Highway. This week it's a Class 2 and it's over the 1400 metres. And I'm kicking off here with number 1, Mr. Wong on top. And Mr. Wong was very good second up from a spell on a heavy track at Randwick. That was over 1100 metres. He screamed home late to just miss. He won first up at Muswellbrook over 1000, but don't let that put you off, because last prep he won over 1450 metres at Muswellbrook on a soft 7, and then he stretched out to the mile at Scone and he chased home a horse called Frankly Awesome to finish second. So I don't think the distance will be a problem. He's got a slightly tricky gate, but there looks good speed in the race. In fact, there looks a lot of speed in the race. So I think Mr. Wong under Aaron Bullock will just sit back and try and get the last crack at them, and he should win. Number 3, Mulwala Canal for Matty Dunn, one of 2 Matty Dunn runners. He's a lightly raced 3-year-old. He's coming off a last start nose second at Doomben behind Mewston Rock. Blake Shin rides, you've got to respect him. I think the 2, Assault and Bathory, probably the only on-pace runner I'll entertain here because he can absorb pressure and kick. We saw that 2 starts ago when third behind Zardoro in a highway here on a good track, but then he went to Goulburn and won on a soft 7. So he's a horse that'll be in it for a long way. And number 9, Rest of the World, the other Matty Dunn 3-year-old. He's also lightly raced with only 3 starts. The blinker's gone for the first time, and he has performed well on soft tracks. So they're my numbers in the first: 1, 3, 2 and 9. Race 2 at Rosehill on Saturday. It's a 2,000 metre open handicap, and I'm going with the short price favourite here, So You Win. I think he pretty much picks himself. He's had 4 starts in group races, so he does look well placed here in an open handicap. He loves Rosehill. He's won 3 races here and he's won 3 from 6 on soft. He's a last start winner. In fact, he's won his last 2, and he was crunched in betting last time out and held off White Boots and held him off comfortably. And I think White Boots is the main danger again here. He gets a very slight swing at the weights in his favour with Robbie Dolan's claim. I think he gets 2 kilo swing, but he's got to pick up a length margin. And he's a horse who can certainly give the favourite a run for his money, but you'd expect So You Win just to have the edge on White Boots. Number 1, Master of Arts, trialling up well for the Freedman stable. I liked his last trial at Hawkesbury. He's a proven wet tracker. First up at 2,000 on a genuine soft. That's a query under a big weight, but yeah, he's going well. And the 3, Tip Top, blinkers go back on 4th up. He's really racing below his best this prep, but if he can find some old form, he can certainly give this a bit of a shake at odds. My numbers in the second: 2 on top from 6, 1 and 3. Race 3 at Rosehill on Saturday, a 3-year-old, benchmark 74 over 1,400 metres, and I'm going with Think Free as my top pick here. To be ridden by Blake Shin, Chris Lee's trained. She's a So You Think filly. She ploughed through a genuine soft track at Newcastle last start, coming from well off pace to win easily late, beating Invicta, who's a rock solid performer on the provincial circuit. Prior to that, had gone around in a listed race at the Sunshine Coast on a heavy track and finished 5 lengths behind Baccarat Baby. She's a filly, I think, from a soft draw with Blake Shin in the saddle. She'll just sit back, watch it unfold up front. There looks good pace in the race. And if Blake can find a passage late, she really will savage the line, and I think she's over the odds. Number 8, Think Free. To beat the 11, My Demetra for the Snowden stable, she's come back in outstanding form, 2 from 2 down at Kembla. Her latest was on a soft track. She won by 3.5 with her head on her chest as a $1.35 favourite. So she's just flying at the moment, deserves her chance in town. Then a couple of these city performers. England, the first one, who's been racing terrifically well this preparation. 2 wins and a close second here last up behind River Bird. He'll get back, he'll run on. He's getting up in weight due to his consistency, but hard to leave out of anything you do. And number 1, Faistos, also hard to leave out. He bolted in at Kembla last start on a soft track, coming from off speed, and he will be suited with good pace up front here. My numbers in the third: 8, 11, 2 and 1. Race 4 at Rosehill on Saturday. It's a benchmark 78 over the 1,800. This race is for the fillies and mares, and I'm tipping the Chris Lee's trained It's Lily. It's Lily got the job done last start. She sat wide under Samantha Clinton, but she always travelled so sweetly in the run on a heavy track over 1,800. The only difference this time is she's got to do it at Rosehill and not at Randwick. But when you look at her overall record now, 8 starts, 4 wins, 3 seconds. Her worst result was a 4th, and that was in the Group 2 Doomben Roses. So she's just one of these fillies. She keeps performing. She's only in a benchmark 78 despite that record I just mentioned. And Sam Clinton Sticks with the 2 kilo claim will carry only 55.5. And she's actually undefeated on soft and heavy tracks, 3 from 3. So a lot to like about It's Lily doing it again. The 10 waking moment for Chris Waller. Really liked her first run this preparation from a decent spell. She was $151. She got beaten less than a length behind Nikki's Gold. She was screaming through the ruck late. She ran the best last 600 of the race, and with the claim here, no weight, fitter, out to 1,800, she could certainly get involved. Number 8, Tory Joy, much better last week. She led, she fought hard, she was edged out late by Commander. Kathy O'Hara rides her again, and I think leading on her certainly worked, so I expect her to be in front for a long way. And number 13, Celtic Love, goes in for 4th. She's ready to do something now, 4th up off a spell. She was only a long neck off Nicky's Gold when 3rd over 1,500 metres here last start. 7, 10, 8 and 13 for me in race 4. Race 5 at Rosehill on Saturday. It's the Stayers Cup over 3,200 metres on a softer heavy track. This will be a tough staying test, and I'm keen on the 4 Dorkan, trained by Chris Lees. Blake Shin to do the riding. This 10-year-old ran 5th in the Group 1 Sydney Cup only 2 starts ago, back on the 13th of April, beaten 4 lengths by Shraro, Venga and Glory Days. That was a good track, but arguably he performs even better when he gets on soft and heavy tracks, which will be the conditions here. He's had a tick-over run since, and when I say tick-over, he was beaten 10 lengths behind Fanciful Toff at Randwick. But look, this would have been his target. He's a horse who ran 6 lengths behind Avilius in the Tancred, Group 1 weight for age race, also back in the autumn. And on 56.5 kilos, you know, he just looks too well weighted against some of these up high in the weights for a horse that will stay all day through these sort of conditions. Number 1, Destiny's Kiss. Well, he's another 10-year-old. You'd love him to win. He has won over 3,200 before. He's a last start winner of the Winter Cup, beating most of his rivals that he meets here. Unfortunately, he's got to carry 59.5 kilos to do it. But what can you say? He's a marvel. Number 2, High Bridge, gets in worse at the weights for getting beaten by Destiny's Kiss in the Winter Cup. So I'm surprised he's so hard in the market. But when you look at his 3,200 metre form, he's had 4 starts at this trip for 2 wins and 2 placings. So you don't get too many 3,200 metre specialists, but High Bridge looks to be one of those. And number 6, Kelstorm for the Freedman stable, 6-year-old by Galileo. All his best forms on soft and heavy tracks. He's been ticking over well. I'd say he's been set for this, and he's probably the best value runner in the race. But my numbers 4, 1, 2 and 6. Race 6 at Rosehill on Saturday, a benchmark 78 over the 1,200 metres. It's also the first leg of the quaddie, and my quaddie numbers can be found at the end of this spiel. But here, I'm going with Riverbird on top. I just think she's come back in outstanding order this prep. She's won 2 from 3. The only time she missed, she was ridden aggressively in a fast run race and got found out late. But a slightly quieter ride last up by Jenny Duggan certainly did the trick, knocking over England here at Rosehill over this distance. So basically she's sticking the same class, she's sticking the same track, same distance. She's going to get her suitable conditions as far as the soft heavy track go. She's drawn well, and Jenny Duggan sticks. Yeah, I've got to stick with Riverbird. The 1, Drachenfels. He's had no luck at 2 runs back. He hasn't won for 80 weeks. That's the big query. But if you're just going off his last 2 starts, you'd have to have something on him here. He's got Jason Collett in the saddle. He's got Barry at 1. He likes soft and heavy tracks, and he loves 1,200. All 4 career wins have been at the 1,200. So watch out, Drachenfels driving at them late. The 5, Oxford Tycoon, well, he'll be the opposite. He'll be out in front making his own luck under Robbie Dolan, gets 2 kilos off. He's ready to strike after 2 runs back from a decent break, and he's certainly a talented 3-year-old. And number 8, Handle the Truth. He's another handy 3-year-old. He's won on heavy tracks before, and taking a line through Riverbird where he was a close-up 4th last start after sitting wide the trip, you'd have to throw him in. 14, 1, 5 and 8 for me in race 6. Good luck if you're playing the quaddie at Rosehill on Saturday. These are my quaddie numbers. First leg, 14, 1, 5, 8 and 15. Second leg, 1, 4, 13, 8 and 5. Third leg, 1 and 11. Final leg, 14, 3, 4 and 11. 200 combinations in that quaddie, so use the tab Flexi betting option to best suit your budget, and good luck with your Rosehill quaddie on Saturday. Race 7 at Rosehill on Saturday. It's the Civic Stakes over 1,350 metres. I'm going with number 1 Deploy on top here, the class runner. I think he's ready to run a big race. I know he's finished well down the track in the Stradbroke, but don't forget it's a Stradbroke, it's a Group 1. Prior to that, he ran 3rd in the Luskin Star at Scone, beaten by Trekking and Brave Song, beaten about a length. I really like that form. Trekking's gone on to win a Stradbroke, Brave Song's gone on to win at group level and run a couple of cracking races where he probably should have won. So he's 3rd up into this. He hasn't won for a long time. That's a query. He goes really well for James Innes Jr. He looks the only leader on paper, so he may get some soft sections, and he's fantastic on soft and heavy going. He's had 4 starts on soft and heavy tracks for 2 wins and a second. So I'm expecting him to give you a great run for your money. Number 1 Deploy. Plenty of other chances. The 4 First Hand, blinkers go on first time, soft draw, has the ability to settle close up, loves Rosehill and tackles this 3rd up off a spell. Number 13 goes in for 3rd, Nicky's Gold. 6 starts on soft tracks for 4 wins. She's a last start winner here over 1500, just dropping back to 1350, going up in grade. They're the 2 little negatives, but she's just a winner on soft tracks. Number 8 goes in for 4th Organza, coming back from the Gay Waterhouse last start, where she didn't have a lot of luck and chased home ready to profit. If she gets the breaks in the run, she can certainly win. It's that sort of race. You can make a case for a lot of them. I'm going 1, 4, 13 and 8. Race 8 at Rosehill on Saturday. A benchmark 94 over 1100 metres, and number 1 Bonhomie really does stand out here for me as the best bet of the day. Trained by Jason Deemer. He needed the run first up. He wasn't quite there in the coat. Chased home Deprive in the listed June Stakes on a heavy track. I thought it was an outstanding first up run. He will certainly come on from that, and he just loves Rosehill. He loves the 1100. He's had 6 cracks here over the 1100 before for 4 wins and 2 seconds. Samantha Clinton will take 2 kilos off, and he's come up with barrier 1 with a race with heaps of speed drawn out. So he just gets the gun run. All he needs is an out at some stage. We'll leave that up to Samantha. She's riding really well. And Bonhomie, definitely the horse they've all got to beat in race 8. Number 11, Wagner, a fairly lightly raced 3-year-old for James Cummings. Last start winner here at Rosehill over this distance. He'll relish the fast tempo. He handles all sorts of ground. And he did beat Spiritual Pursuit and Invictus Salute last start. So that form looks really strong. The 4 Heart Conquered, an on-pace galloper who loves soft and heavy tracks. The 1100 just found him out in the June Stakes, but in saying that, he didn't have a lot of luck in the run. He meets Bonhomie a lot better at the weights, but again, he's just got that slightly tricky gate with speed drawn underneath him. He'll be there for a long way. And the 13 Gongs, well, she's a last start winner on a heavy track at Randwick. She should get a soft run here down in the weights, and she could definitely be closing hard at them late. My numbers, 1, 11, 4 and 13. Race 9 at Rosehill on Saturday, a benchmark 78 over 1500 metres, and I'm tipping 1 down in the weights here, Travancore for Claire Cunningham and Jason Collett. This 5-year-old has only been with the stable this campaign. He's had the 3 starts, 2 placings, and then notched up a win at Canterbury over the 1550 on a soft track last time out. Really savaged the line there, which was good to see. He's a horse who, from barrier 2, will just sit back. Hopefully things unfold up front. Bit of speed looks to be the case, and he should get the last crack at them. And Jason Collett, now a Group 1 winning jockey, to be steering him through the ruck late. Number 3, Gayatri. Sam Wedley's got the job here on this mare. Now she'll probably get right back to last, you would imagine. She's first up over 1500. She's a stayer. She's had 7 starts for 4 wins and 3 placings, and she's obviously never missed on a soft or heavy track as far as 2 wins and a placing from 3 starts. So she's hard to leave out, even though the map doesn't look good for her. The 4, Destiny's Own, starting to, well, what can you say? He's had 4 starts this prep. He's been in the money on all 4 occasions. He's never missed a top 3 finish on a soft or heavy track. Robbie Dolan gets 2 kilos off, and he closed off hard behind Capperjack last start. And the 11, Ricochet, well, another one. He just keeps running good races without winning. Second behind Capperjack at both runs this prep. No Capperjack here, and he's got barrier 3. My numbers in the last 14, 3, 4 and 11.